nothing, and infect your computer. Yay! Wouldn't that be awesome? Yeah, so now we're just going to infect your computer. It'll be great. So to get this fixed, it's really, really simple. There's a patch that you can download for your computer from the Adobe website. It may pop up on your screen at some point, but this is critical because it's being actively exploited right now. So everybody who has a computer pretty much needs this patch. It's a new version of Adobe Flash Player. You can download it at adobe.com, or conversely, if you just want to get these patches when they come out and not have to worry about it, so if something pops up on the screen telling you that you need a patch, you know it's fake. Because here's the best part. So here's Thor telling you about this important new patch that you have to have on your computer. Must have the patch. Gotta have it. It's going to make your computer safe. And so a lot of you are going to go Googling around looking for the patch, right? Well, the bad guys aren't stupid, so they set up websites that are like, fastest way to get the adobepatch.com. And you end up on that website and you're actually installing a virus on your computer and not a patch. So customers ask me, how do I know, Thor, when I have the right patch? How do I know when I'm on the right website to update my Flash Player? The answer is you can go to adobe.com. It's get.adobe.com. You can do it manually. Or you can just get a free trial of Secure Updater at secureupdater.com. Not only will that update your Flash Player, it's going to update all the other programs on your computer, the third-party software that you get for free that you need that keep updated. For example, do you have Dropbox? There's an update for Dropbox like every other day. It's the most annoying thing in the world. I don't understand it, but they have a lot of updates. Skype comes out with a lot of updates. We've got Adobe, we talked about Flash Player, the Adobe Reader as well, Adobe Shockwave, so 3 different Adobe products. They all get updated. You got CCleaner, Specky, all these little programs that either come with your computer pre-installed. You may not even use them. But if you have them on your computer, it introduces this vulnerability in your machine. Of course, all the major browsers, you're going to get updates for Chrome and Firefox. They're pretty good about updating themselves. But if you have your browser open, it never updates. So if you have a computer that you never turn off and you always leave with a web page open, it's never going to get its update. So Secure Updater will at least tell you, hey, there's an update. You need to get this now. Let's get it done. So without making this a giant commercial for Secure Updater, guys, there is a huge patch. And this is exactly what Secure Updater is designed to do. I'm talking exactly. So check it out. If you have Secure Updater on your computer, you're good to go. You don't have to worry about what I'm telling you right now. You're set. If you don't have Secure Updater on your computer, you can get a free 14-day copy at secureupdater.com. Now, also, if you did our safe upgrade for Windows 10 about a month and a half ago, that program installed a free trial of Secure Updater on your computer at that time, just to make sure that all your third-party software was up to date. The beautiful part is, as a special bonus, you can just renew that free trial that was put on the computer. It was actually a 15-day paid subscription that was put on your computer. So you can just renew that. Instead of paying the normal $50, it's only $24.99. 866-496-8772. Also, the world's fastest trip to Las Vegas yesterday. Yeah, was it yesterday? No, it was the day before yesterday. Sorry, not a lot of sleep. It's all starting to blend together because, you go to Vegas, you don't sleep. It's that place is a cesspool. I'm just saying. I mean, of course, I was in all the touristy things, so I wasn't in the actual, where the real people of Las Vegas live, because I'm sure there are real normal people in Las Vegas that don't live at casinos and don't go to data recovery conferences at the Tropicana. And it was kind of funny because, so Ace Labs is the company that sells all of the data recovery equipment basically in the world. They're a Russian company. There is no other place. There is no other company. There used to be like Dolphin would sell stuff, and they were based out of Canada, I think. But there is no U.S. company to buy data recovery hardware from. It doesn't exist. So the place you go is Russia. They basically invented the industry, and all of their hardware is state of the art. So if you send your drives to any data recovery lab anywhere, any failed device, they're going to be using Ace Labs equipment to recover it. So it's important. Ace Labs comes out with all kinds of new stuff all the time. It's important that we stay up to date and current with what Ace Labs is offering us, because if Ace Labs, for example, comes out with, I don't know, a new machine that makes data recovery cheaper, That would be great, right? So you don't have to spend so much money when your stuff dies. So went to the conference in Vegas. It was a free summit. It was basically a free conference where they talked about all the cool things you can do as long as you have all the latest equipment. Now, the latest equipment, basically, it's kind of funny because everything from Ace Labs ends up costing about $10,000 or $11,000. Like everything. I swear, if you needed a cable, it would somehow come out to be $11,000. They give you a product catalog, and everything is 10 to 11,000. It's amazing. But we actually have 3 of their imagers in our lab. We have 2 of their firmware editing machines in our lab, as well as our clean environment there over at Schrock Innovations in Omaha. So I went to this conference, and so we have a new baby at home, right? It's not exactly cool for me to be like, hey, I'm going to go to Vegas, hon. Have fun with the 3 children. Yeah. And get on a plane and take off, for a weekend in Vegas or whatever. So I'm being responsible here. I flew out Friday morning at 7:15, left Epley Airfield in Omaha, and returned Saturday morning. It was supposed to be 1:15, but it ended up being 3. So I was literally gone for less than a day. Right. I even took a feeding when I came back home. The baby was awake, so I just I'm up. Might as well do the feeding, right? So we got back in, but the conference was actually really good. I learned a whole lot about, and I recorded it for our other technicians so that they can watch it as well. But at this conference, they were talking about this new technique for recovering solid state drives, and as you guys know, all the computers at Schrock now come with solid state drives, and they are so much more reliable. They are so much faster than the older drives and what they used to be. But you'll also know that as a result of just the raw numbers of them going out, we're going to start to see these things failing in a few years. And when they do start to fail, because no technology is perfect. Everything fails eventually. When they start to fail, we're going to need to be able to get people's data back. And as I've told people in the past, there's basically 2 components to these drives. There's a controller chip and a memory chip. Well, the memory chips, they do what memory chips do. They store stuff. And the controller chip does what controller chips do. They allow you to access memory chips. Yay! 2 parts, super simple design, right? What happens when the controller chip goes bad? Now you can't access the memory chips. And if you can't access the memory chips, you can't get the data. So what if you could have a program that basically emulated a controller chip and allowed you to access the data? So right there, I probably lost a whole bunch of people talking about emulating controller chips. But needless to say, we are on the cutting edge as far as data recovery is concerned at Schrock Innovations. I mean, the stuff that we have in our lab, we have the only lab in the Omaha metro area, and I'm assuming the Lincoln metro area as well, that is fully equipped, meaning we can do everything from a simple drive image all the way up to a head replacement and firmware repair. So there's one forensic lab in town, but they do mostly forensic stuff. And if you've ever had to do a forensic data recovery, you know that they are ridiculously expensive. They make regular data recovery look like a trip to McDonald's. It's bad. So yeah, if you end up in a situation where you or a friend or someone you know or something at work ends up going down, ends up needing to be recovered, let us know in the service centers over at Schrock. We're happy to get that data recovered as quickly as possible for you. 866-496-8772. Also coming up on the show, once again, the United States has the top spot in supercomputing. What does this mean to you? Not a whole lot, but it's kind of nice to be proud, right? So, we're number 1 again in supercomputers. We're going to tell you China was number 1 before us. So we are dethroning the Chinese with a new supercomputer, but it's embarrassing how much faster our new supercomputer is than the fastest one before that. Also, new version of iOS 11.4. I thought 12 was the new version. I don't know. But 11.4 has a battery drain. So we're going to talk about that, what's going on there. I'm also going to find out what the current version is, because that seems to be kind of low to me, but maybe it is. I guess we just had 11.2, so 11.4 makes sense. So if you have an Apple device, iPad or an iPhone, there's a new update coming out. But if you want to put it off for just a little bit, because it seems that your battery won't last quite as long. Speaking of new operating systems, Android P is coming out. Now, this is kind of disturbing because Android is made by Google, which is owned now by Alphabet. Okay, because whatever Alphabet, like we ran out of letters. Android P, right? I mean, All the other Android operating systems have a nickname named after candy. You've got Marshmallow, Lollipop, Kit Kat, and now we have P. Really? P? And it's the letter P. Come on. Come on, you third graders. It's the letter P, okay? But seriously, it's not named after candy? Google's latest mobile operating system is here, so we're going to tell you all about that there. Also, Google is going to have a new sign-in page. So it's something to watch out for when you next time you go to Google, when you go to sign into Gmail, for example, it may look a little bit different. We're going to tell you about that so you don't get worried that you're like on some kind of scam site or whatever. And we have saved some Chinese jobs, folks. I'll tell you what. Washington, D.C. has reached a deal with ZTE Corporation. You remember a few weeks ago we talked about this where literally they just declared bankruptcy and quit. Like the U.S. said, you can't sell anything from any intellectual property from the United States anymore. And they just like folded up their flag and died. And then, of course, it was like, ooh, that was kind of rough. And, we saved these Chinese jobs. The U.S. Commerce Secretary, Wilbur Ross, has saved their jobs. Good job, Wilbur. We're going to tell you exactly what deal was reached to save those Chinese jobs coming up on the show as well. 866-496-8772. Those are the numbers to join us on the program today. Of course, you can ask a question or make a comment, and we'll get you in the drawing for a $25 Schrock Innovations gift certificate. Good for anything your heart desires there. We're also back live again on Facebook, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. All right, so before we take our break here, a quick mention. Next month, the Best of Omaha is opening up again, and we would certainly appreciate your vote in that. And we'll have details when the time comes. We'll post those links on Facebook as well, facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Coming up here also, each week we cover a lot of stories. I just kind of gave you the rundown of the stories we're going to cover today. I've got a few backups in case, things go fast or whatever. I don't have any calls. Sometimes just people don't want to call, I guess, whatever the day of the week, there's no questions or whatever. And so I have to talk for a whole hour. Well, you need something to talk about, right? Well, so some of the stuff we talk about on the air, the most interesting stuff, that stuff, all those stories get posted on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Schrock Innovations. Now, obviously we're on the radio and we have an hour to play with here. And these stories, some of them go into much deeper depth. So if you're interested in a particular story, something catches your attention, and you wish I wish I knew more about that. You can check out our Facebook page at facebook.com, where we link back to the source articles that we use for the show, so that you can learn as much as you want to learn, or just listen to me explain it in my eloquent ways, and then we'll call it good there as well. All right, 866-496-8772. Going to take a quick break. More of the show coming up next.
Schrock Innovations repair technicians also make house calls. Make an appointment and let us bring our award-winning computer support right to your home or business. Some people like desktops for their power and upgradability, but nothing rivals a laptop for computing on the go. But why should you have to sacrifice performance for portability? The innovators at Schrock want our customers to have it all, so we created a new kind of laptop, the solid-state laptop from Schrock Innovations. Solid-state laptops are built using the same frame and mainboards as regular laptops, but we've removed half of the moving parts while more than doubling the computer's speed. The result? Laptops that boot to Windows in 6 seconds or less, respond instantly to your commands, and can survive drops that put most laptops into the data recovery lab. Starting at only $499, solid-state laptops give you speed, reliability, durability, and performance for the same price most people pay for a cheap disposable laptop. The next time you're looking for a laptop, check out the solid-state laptops at SchrockInnovations.com or visit any of our service centers. Simple, solid, fast technology is what we do at Schrock. Compute this pro tip 423. Everyone knows you need an antivirus and firewall program for your computer, but which one is the best? Should you use the free ones, pay for a commercial product, or maybe even the free stuff your internet service provider gives you? The absolute worst thing you can do is to install nothing. Windows 10 comes with Windows Defender, but Microsoft never intended it to be your primary antivirus product. Free antivirus like AVG or Avast are more effective than Windows Defender, but Consumer Reports ranks the free antivirus products in the middle of the pack when compared to their commercial competitors. As for the free software from your internet provider, forget about it. It's designed to protect their network, not your computer. There are two products that trade the crown for best antivirus software year after year. Schrock recommends Symantec products like Endpoint, but the Russian-made Kaspersky antivirus program also does an outstanding job. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company. Alrighty, folks, welcome back into Compute This. My name is Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. We have fun with what we do. We fix stuff for people. That's what we do. We do it on the radio show right here. We do it on our website, SchrockInnovations.com. We have a do-it-yourself section where you can actually get some really great tips and help for your computer problems. If you have any requests for the do-it-yourself section, feel free to post those either on Facebook or shoot them in an email, Thor, Thor, at SchrockInnovations.com, and we'll see about getting those added for you. Also, in the service centers, obviously, all three locations, and also on the Schrock desk. We don't talk about the Schrock desk a whole lot, but it's really becoming a cornerstone for what we do. It allows us to be anywhere we need to be. So as I mentioned last week in the After Schrock, or no, wait, it was 2 weeks ago in the After Schrock. I don't think we had one last week. There won't be an After Schrock this week either because my wife's going on the garden walk and she needs me home quickly to deal with the littles, okay? So it's family, guys. I've got to go, okay? Maybe I'll go home with the baby and everything and do the After Schrock there. You know, it's the internet. I can do it from anywhere, right? That doesn't sound like a kid screaming in the background, baby crying, feeding. Hey, what are you going to talk about? But nevertheless, let's jump into those phones, 866-496-8772. And Don, welcome to the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
I've already talked to you. I think this is Don again.
Okay. Hi, Don.
And yeah, I just called in. I was just waiting for Schrock to pick up. I was talking about Jake at the.
Oh, gotcha. All right, can I have you hold for just a second? I'm going to get Mr. Schrock for you here, okay?
Oh, that's fine.
All right, sounds good. Hold for just one moment, and then I'm going to get him for you. Okay.
Very good.
Mr. Schrock, paging Mr. Schrock. Yeah, what's going on? We have Don on the line. He'd like to talk to you about Jake. Oh, yeah, well, let's get Don. Don on line one. Don, welcome to the program. How can I help you on Compute This today?
Well, yes, sir. I want to thank Jake at your Omaha Center the other day. I think it was Tuesday.
Okay.
I don't know. I was having issues with my computer and then getting the homepage to work. It even had to come up for me and work properly. And he was super. I mean, I can't compliment him enough. He was very helpful.
Well, awesome. Thank you for that, Don. Now, did he help you out over the Schrock desk, or did he just talk you through it?
I just talked me through it, and well, he also took over my computer and did his thing remotely. And
taking over the computer, it sounds so sinister. He seized control of my computational device.
But it worked. It worked good.
But it worked. But it worked good. Yep. So
I have one of your holiday specials. I've had it now for 4 years.
Okay, how's it working? Is it still speedy?
With it.
Still speedy?
And I have friends who buy these big box ones, the Dells and whatever, and I forever hear them complaining about their computers, and I have never had issues with mine, just normal maintenance, bringing it in and so on. So I really do appreciate this computer and the service I get.
Well, thank you, Don. I appreciate the call. And I'm just joshing with you there a little bit. You were talking to me the whole time.
Oh, I was?
Yeah, it was funny. I was just giving you a hard time. It was fun. But the guy's trying to call in and give me a compliment, and I'm giving him a hard time, you know. But no, thank you for the call, Don. And I appreciate you mentioning Jake specifically, too, because it helps me out. As a business owner, it helps to know, you know, are my employees delivering the service that I want them to deliver? And by recognizing the individual employees that are helping you and doing a good job, it helps me because, you know, when I do performance evaluations, things like that. Now, he just got a raise. So when I do performance evaluations, when I do, you know, reviews, things like that, it helps me understand, you know, you're always going to have employees who are strong performers, and you're going to have employees who are not quite as strong performers. We can't have non-performers at Schrock. You know, that doesn't work for me. You know, you don't usually make it through your 90 days if you're a non-performer. We have a 90-day probationary period on all new hires. Jake actually just made it through his last month. So yeah, he's doing well over there. And thanks for the kind words about the holiday special too, Don. The funny thing is, we're finding a lot of customers that have the solid state drives in their computers. The satisfaction rate with your computer, once you put a solid state drive in, it goes through the roof. That's why all the computers that we sell at Schrock Innovations are now equipped with solid state hard drives. All of our desktops, which you can't find desktops that come with solid state drives. Go to Dell.com and try to find a desktop that comes with a solid state drive. Not one you have to upgrade to it, but one that just comes with one. And you just can't find them. They're really, the smaller ones are not that much more expensive anymore than a regular hard drive. And as a result of that, when we have a customer that comes in and they're like, I've got a 2 terabyte hard drive in my computer. And you're like, okay, great. But your 2 terabyte hard drive, the bigger they go, the slower they perform typically. So your 2 terabyte hard drive is rocking and rolling at 5,400 rotations per minute, as opposed to, a regular hard drive that's 7,200 rotations. But that's bad enough. 5,400 is bad enough. But then you take out that drive and you look at it and you find out that the customer is only using like 80 gigs of the space, right? So you have over 2,000 gigabytes of storage space and you're using 80. So do you really need 2,000 gigs of storage space when you're only using 80? So we could take out that 2 terabyte drive and we could put in like a 256 solid state. You're using 80. Now you have 256. You still have more than double what you need to have. So you're not going to run out of room anytime soon. Everything is great. And if it happens, we can put you into a bigger drive. That's not a problem. But the thing is, with a solid state hard drive, your boot times are reduced dramatically, 6 to 10 seconds to turn on the computer. It's amazing. The computer just flows. All those hesitations you're seeing now, memory is getting incrementally faster, like a little bit faster and a little bit faster and a little bit faster. Processors are getting a little bit faster, and then a little bit faster. Hard drives, they are running at the same speed that they've always run since like the beginning of time. So that's the bottleneck now. You have this really fast processor. You've got this really fast memory. And then you've got this caveman hard drive. And the mechanical hard drive. Doesn't it sound like something from like World War II, like an Enigma machine? Like, you have a mechanical hard drive? Oh, gears and whirring clutches and whatnot? Well, the mechanical hard drive is what most people have in their computers, and that's why they're so darn slow. So one of the secrets to the holiday special is that it always, since solid states came out, it's always come with a solid state. And as a result, it has always outperformed its peers. It always lasts longer than its peers. Even when the technology, the processor and the memory technology becomes antiquated, the Schrock computers, the modular PCs, still outperform the new box store computers because, great, this brand new HP, it has a processor that's twice as fast now 5 years later. It's got memory that's twice as fast 5 years later, but it's got the same clunky mechanical hard drive in it that acts like a bottleneck and slows it down. So we have customers actually having us replace their mechanical drives with solid states. So if your computer is annoying you and you bought an HP or you bought a Dell, and you're like, Thor, I'm sorry, I'll get you next time. We'll get a modular computer. And, don't worry about that. We'll make your computer work for you. Let us replace that hard drive with a solid state. You're going to be so much happier with the performance. It's not even going to be funny. 866-496-8772. Got to take our bottom of the hour break. When we come back, Mike, we'll get to your call. Also, it's talking about incremental upgrades. The United States has had one heck of a supercomputing upgrade. And we're going to tell you exactly how much we beat the Chinese by. Coming up next on Compute This.
Update all of your third-party apps on your computer with Secure Updater. It keeps all your apps running smoothly and helps block viruses. Download it for free today at secureupdater.com. Schrock Innovations has spent nearly 2 decades working to make your technology life easier, and the all-new SchrockInnovations.com is no exception. Now you can order new modular computers and solid-state laptops directly from our website, secure your computer with our virus-free guaranteed semantic endpoint software, find innovative new technologies like our modular storage devices, and get free help and tips. Take a look at the special section to find sales on one-of-a-kind items, display models, refurbished units, and our latest special offers. Swing by the Compute This page to watch TV segments and archived radio shows, or even get one-on-one help through the Schrock Desk. As always, we respect your privacy, so we secure our website with the latest encryption technology and only the most secure payment methods. You can pick up your purchases at any of our 3 service centers or have them shipped directly to your door. The new SchrockInnovations.com makes technology simple. It's what we do. Compute This pro tip number 753. Have you ever wondered how the bad guys always seem to find a way into your computer? Gone are the good old days of email worms and I love you viruses. Nobody wants to steal your data anymore, or in many cases, even your identity. Today's cyber criminals want to sell access to your computer or hold your data for ransom. The bad guys are exploiting zero-day vulnerabilities to break into systems that are supposed to be hack-proof. These vulnerabilities are always newly discovered, and the criminals have a brief time to exploit them before they get patched. Antivirus and firewalls do not prevent these attacks, but you can minimize your computer's exposure by installing all security patches as quickly as possible. The average computer needs 12 patches a week. That's not including the ones that are automatically delivered to your computer. Boost your cybersecurity by staying on top of it manually, or use a patch installation program like Secure Updater to get your computer the patches it needs. This pro tip is brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Fox News Radio, I'm Karen McHugh. Air Force One has arrived in Singapore. President Trump is on the ground, where he will become the first U.S. leader to meet face-to-face with the leader of North Korea.
The president tweeting before his departure, "We have a chance to achieve a truly wonderful result for North Korea and the world." He continued, "It will certainly be an exciting day, and I know that Kim Jong-un will work very hard to do something that has rarely been done before, create peace and great prosperity for his land." The president said on Twitter, "I look forward to meeting Kim and have a feeling that this one-time opportunity will not be wasted."
Fox's John Deckard in Singapore. Kim is already there.
Kim Jong-un got in here a little earlier today. One of the first things that he did was he directly went to meet with the Singaporean Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong. The Prime Minister will also meet with President Trump tomorrow.
Fox's John Roberts also in Singapore. Fox News, we report, you decide.
Now, the News Radio 1110 KFAB Weather Watch.
Morning storms and clouds will quickly roll to the east and give way to sunshine by this afternoon, and a high temperature of 97 degrees. Wind speeds will move out of the south, could gust upwards of 25 miles per hour. And with the humidity around, it will feel like the triple digits across our area, especially to the south. With Omaha's most accurate weather team, I'm 6 News meteorologist Peter Sherwood on News Radio 1110 KFAB.
Alrighty, folks, welcome back into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company, where we fix computers, we build computers, we recover data from crashed computers. Pretty much if it has something to do with a computer, we do it. We have corporate service agreements. If you have a business, we're actually the most affordable game in town. If you have a business, you know what a nightmare IT is going to be. Imagine a scenario where you can know exactly what your IT is going to cost for the year. How about $275 per computer per year? You have a 5-computer office. Now you know exactly what your IT cost is for the year. And you can have, we drop everything level support for that price, and we come to you. Compare that to some of the other big guys out there. It's no contest. We also have web services as well. We announced on Facebook this week that the Schrock Interactive team is proud to announce that we are going to be creating an alert system. It was really cool. We've been playing around. We actually have a working mock-up of this now where we're testing it. For the Cass County Rural Water District number 2, if you have Cass County, Nebraska water, if something goes wrong with the water, the Rural Water District needs a way to notify its customers that there's something going on with the water. And so, literally there was something that happened with the water supply, and the federal government said you had to do a Martin Luther and go post notices on people's doors, and you had to notify all of your customers within 24 hours. They have a staff of 5 people. I mean, how are you supposed to do that? You can't even mail it because it's not going to get there in 24 hours. Well, now you could text it, you could email it, you could actually do a robocall. There's a lot of different ways you can notify people about stuff. Take a look at what happened on the West Coast. Did you hear about Washington with the water supply there? Basically, they came out and said, yep, the water supply is great. Everything's good. And then a month later, there was some kind of toxic algae bloom, and that this toxic algae releases some kind of a toxin into the water. That's why it's toxic algae. And the trouble is this toxin, we've all heard about boiling. You get a boil order or something. You can't boil it out. Boiling doesn't get rid of it. It's not a living thing. So boiling, doesn't do anything. It's a toxin. It's like a poison. You can't boil it. Reverse osmosis doesn't take it out. Yeah, I mean, literally this toxin is like in the water, and the only thing you can do is let it run its course. There's no cleaning it. There's no filtering it. And so they're literally bringing in water with these giant 20,000 gallon trucks and delivering water via truck to all their customers because there's just no potable water in the system because toxic algae bloom, right? Now, we don't have toxic algae blooms like that in Nebraska, at least not than I've heard of. Of course, maybe it could happen. I don't know. I had algae in the pool this year. That was a mess. But it wasn't the toxic variety, though. We put a kid in to test, some of the neighbor kids, and I'm sure he's fine. I kept telling the kids, see, it turned green. That's what happens when you kids pee in my pool. But we just have an above ground pool for the kids to play in. It's kind of fun. But the bottom line is, if something like that would ever happen, because of the technology that Schrock Interactive is building for the Cass County Rural Water District, you'll know. You'll know before you drink the toxic water. You won't have to make the neighbor kid, drink your water ahead of time, to make sure that it's not going to kill you or anything, because you'll know. I mean, the water supply is incredibly safe in Nebraska, but if something happens, we need to be able to alert customers that there is a situation going on, and it's not that hard to do anymore. So the Schrock Interactive team is building software that's going to manage that and allow them to send communications directly to customers and do an assortment of new things, also a new front-facing website as well, so you can see all the goodness that they do. 866-496-8772. Stay on the... You know what? Last week we lost Mike, so let's go to Mike here real quick. Mike, welcome to the program. How can I help you today on Compute This?
Hi, Thor.
Oh, hey, Mike. How are you?
Hey, how are you? I've been thinking about you.
Well, thank you.
The reason I called is you did my Windows 10 upgrade.
Okay.
And, about 10 days later, I started having problems. I get small screen and no signal. And to make a long story short, you've always been like family. And it's gotten to the point where I'm afraid to even call Lincoln Service Center. And
You're afraid to call?
I talked to Tyler finally. And if it wasn't for him, I mean, I'm telling you, I'd about had it getting a run around. And just rude and everything else. But the thing is that kid went above and beyond. He even picked it up on a Saturday. And because he was out Thursday and Friday, that's his days off. And then I turned around and I started having problems again. It finally just locked up. So he was out sick and everything, and I called him. He picked it up the following Saturday. And so I got it back. And up until Friday, I didn't have any problems with it. I'm going to call him today because it hadn't happened but once. But anyway, he said my C drive was completely full, and there's no way that could happen. So he got it straightened out.
Oh, it can happen.
And
especially with a solid state drive, it can happen.
Well, I didn't have a solid state drive.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
You have a holiday special, Mike.
I know, from 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
They had solid states back then.
Well, anyway, he looked it up. He said I don't have a solid state in it.
Well, that'd be more than 5 or... okay, I'll take your word for it. That'd be more than 5 or 6 years ago for sure, but I'll take your word for it.
Well, anyway, so the problem I went through with, saying the warranty had to be renewed and this and that. And that was way back in April, but apparently you must have said something because very offish when I called. But anyway, 2 weeks in a row, he picked that thing up, which surprised me because it was a Saturday. He sent Ryan out. And, doggone it, if it wasn't for him, I was just getting to the point where, like I say, I wasn't going to call him. I was going to call you and see if somehow you guys, the Pavilion Service Center is about the same distance, you guys could pick it up or something, because I just got tired of it. So like I say, the biggest thing is I want to get across. Tyler is the one that has really kept me from just really losing a lot of confidence, because I've always had nothing but, good things to say, and I know I've done a lot of praying for you, and you've done a lot of praying for me, but doggone it, like I say, you've always been like family, and I just, after a few times there, I didn't even want to call the service center, and I won't call unless Tyler's there.
Gotcha. Well, thank you for the call, Mike. I appreciate it, and I'm sorry that you had some trouble in the Lincoln Service Center there with other people in the past, because that's obviously not a result I want to hear, and I don't hear that a lot out of the Lincoln Service Center. We have made some changes to the staff down there. We have a couple employees that are no longer there anymore, and we have some fresh people coming in. We're actually transferring Drake from the Omaha Service Center up to Lincoln starting Monday, effective Monday. So we have some it's for whatever reason, it's hard to find like technicians in Lincoln, like good technicians that have customer service skills. It is almost impossible to find them in Lincoln. We can find great technicians, we can find great customer service people, but I can't find the two together. And in Omaha, it's like they're growing on orchard trees, and I just go out and pick one when I need it, So Drake is he's moving to Lincoln to help out in the Lincoln Service Center and make sure that it's meeting everyone's expectations down there. So thank you for the call, Mike. I'll pass that on to Tyler too, because I think he's actually up for a raise. So I've got a well, and Mike called about it. Thanks for getting him taken care of there. I appreciate it. 866-496-8772. All right, real quick here. The U.S. once again takes the lead in supercomputing technology. Now, here's the thing. The supercomputer, I have this image in my mind of like a giant reel-to-reel thing, lights blinking, very old 1960s Star Trek, The supercomputers are computers that take up not an entire room, but an entire data center. So they're huge. They're not a single box or a single machine. They're rack upon rack upon rack of computers. In fact, this new supercomputer, for those of you who are into cryptocurrency mining, you know that you can use your computer's graphics card to mine cryptocurrencies, and it's a lot faster than using your computer's processors, the actual CPU. So in 2012, that was the last time the U.S. had the lead in supercomputing technology, and we had one that was based on processors. This computer is mostly based on graphics cards, NVIDIA graphics cards. It has 27,000 graphics cards running in this computer that keep it going. I hope they have better luck than I do with keeping graphics cards up and running, because they're a pain in the rear. But 27,000 graphics cards that are being used not to put pictures on the screen, but to do computations. And the result is the IBM Power 9, it has IBM Power 9 CPUs and NVIDIA GPUs. And the result here is it's in the Oak Ridge National Laboratory, which is also the laboratory that housed the 2012 winner. This thing is completely built for AI. So what do they do with these things? So let's say you can't test nukes anymore. We have a nuclear test ban treaty. So you cannot, if you want to build a new nuclear weapon, you can't go out and pop one off in the backyard. You have to simulate it. So how do you do that? You need a supercomputer that can simulate a nuclear explosion, basically, and all down to the atomic level. That's what these computers are used for. They're used for research. They're used for development. Basically, let me throw some numbers at you here. It's kind of hilarious because we all know what a petaflop is, right? A petaflop. Your computer has a processor, and your processor is measured in gigahertz, and so kind of like gigabytes. Gigabytes. So you have megabytes, gigabytes, terabytes, and then I don't even know the rest of the words. You eventually get to petaflops. It's that fast. All right. 200 quadrillion calculations a second. 200 quadrillion. So million, billion, trillion. Then it's quadrillion, I think. And then it just becomes like stupid trillion. It's so many calculations you don't know. But it's 200 petaflops. I mean, it's incredibly fast. It is 60% faster than the previous record holder in China, which was based on CPU technology. That's how much faster these graphics cards are, guys. And so that is the United States now taking the lead in supercomputing. And in fact, there are several supercomputers. Just because you have the fastest supercomputer doesn't automatically mean that you're like the most powerful, coolest nation on the planet, because most nations have multiple supercomputers that are used for multiple tasks. And, a 60% improvement in performance is amazing. That is phenomenal. You're going to see some definite improvements on task time. But in the past, incremental improvements, again, have if you have a supercomputer that's in second place, you're not exactly dying. It's not like you've got the old Dell from 1992 under the table there, doing your calculations for you. But for now, the United States is back in the #1 spot, so that's pretty cool there. And there's a picture of this thing. We'll put it up on Facebook. But just like they have 2 rows of the racks, because for those of you who don't know, graphics cards produce incredible amounts of heat. So this data center has got to be it's got to be cooking in there and removing that heat and mechanically cooling it. That's pretty spectacular stuff. So let me see. Let's see. This means that researchers will be able to explore more complex phenomena at higher levels of fidelity in less time than with previous generations of supercomputer systems. In other words, they'll be able to do more complex things faster. 866-496-8772. Got to take a quick break. Hang on the line, Wes and Dale and Tim. Your calls coming up next on Compute This.
Now you can configure and purchase laptops, desktops, tablets, and more, all at the new SchrockInnovations.com. Check out our specials for one-of-a-kind discounts and deals. Every person listening to this broadcast has either experienced data loss or knows someone who has. When you think about it, you have a lot more data stored in many more places than you'd like to admit. Have you downloaded those videos from your phone, backed up the pictures on your iPad, or even tackled that sometimes daunting task of backing up your entire computer's hard drive? Most people just don't back up their stuff, and that's why Schrock Innovations has one of the most advanced data recovery centers in the Midwest. Equipped with the latest DDI data imaging devices, state-of-the-art custom recovery software, and Omaha's best data recovery technicians, Schrock Innovations has a 96.8% success rate when recovering data from damaged hard drives, flash drives, camera cards, and more. We all know we should back up our data, but if you are ever caught in a data loss nightmare, call the experts at Schrock Innovations to get your data back right where it belongs, safe and backed up on a stable hard drive. Compute This pro tip number 187. Recently, you may have received a phone call from someone claiming to be from Microsoft or had a message pop up on your screen telling you that your computer was infected. Do not respond to these calls or messages. They're always a scam. Microsoft will never call you about your computer. Here's how the scam actually shakes out. You get the phone call that your computer's infected. The scammers hit you with some mumbo jumbo about an infected IP address. They'll ask your permission to connect and help you fix it. Once they're in your computer, they do a bunch of fake scans that detect a lot of problems that really aren't there. You see the scan results and figure your computer's in trouble. Next, the scammers will demand up to $400 to clean up the computer and set you up with a lifetime protection. Don't fall for the scam. Keep good security software installed, like Endpoint and Secure Updater, so when things like this do happen, you know you are covered. This pro tip brought to you by Schrock Innovations Computer Company.
Alrighty, guys, welcome back into Compute This. My name's Thor Schrock. I'm the owner of the Schrock Innovations Computer Company. Phones are stacking up on us, so real quick, I want to knock this out. If you have an iPhone, we're talking iPhone X, regular iPhones, anything from an iPhone 6 to an iPhone X, you're going to get a new update to iOS 11.4. This is the new version of the Apple operating system for your phone. We're seeing reports of battery drain problems where the battery is draining much faster than normal. It does not mean your battery is bad. The software in the iPhone is going to tell you the battery is fine. There are some things online of people suggesting ways to fix it, but this is just another example of Apple's shoddy software. This company is known for making outstanding hardware. They're also known for making the buggiest software you've ever seen. You ever tried to run iTunes on a PC? Yeah, it's terrible. When Apple doesn't control the ecosystem, they cannot code for problems. And this is getting to the point now where they control the ecosystem, like in an iPhone, and they can't push a piece of software out that doesn't have issues like this. every new piece of software is going to have a few bugs. It just is, especially at the rate that things change now. But Apple, it's continuous over and over and over. They're getting to the point where technical forums like ZDNet are literally asking, is it time to just ditch iOS and start over? Because it's such a tangled rat's nest of problems, patches on top of problems on top of patches for new problems. I mean, why not just start over? And there's some indication that they may be doing that with iOS 12, which were the articles I was reading earlier in the show. I was like, is this 12? No, it's not 12. This is 11.4. So you're still in the rat's nest, okay? So you might just want to hold off a little bit on updating to 11.4 if you can help it, if you have an iPhone. 866-496-8772. Wes, welcome to the program. How can I help you today on Compute This? Hello, Wes.
Yes. I have a question about Drive Advisor, and I'm a blind guy, and I set it up kind of muddling through because the screens don't work that well with the screen reader.
Okay.
And so I can't read the stat windows that come up. I'm curious, what email address will the notification come from if you have a drive issue? Gotcha.
So if Drive Advisor detects a failing hard drive, it sends you an email to let you know. Then, folks, you can download Drive Advisor at driveadvisor.com. It's free. It's a completely free program. You install it on your computer. It tells you if your hard drive is dying. And it also monitors your external drives too. So it's kind of cool. So Wes, basically when you installed the program, it prompted you to enter an email address.
Yep. Did it?
That's the email address that's going to notify.
Okay. So where will what will the from be, in case it got dumped into my spam folder? I was going to try to, search for it.
Yes, this is important. It's to the point now that the spam filtration on email is getting pretty aggressive now. So Gmail, Hotmail, all the MSN, the Microsoft Mail, Outlook.com, all that stuff, as well as Yahoo Mail will filter Drive Advisor emails either to spam or to junk, or to promotions in Gmail's case, because I think we're trying to sell you something. The email will come from noreply@driveadvisor.com, so you can add that to the whitelist. But basically, it's not a monitored email box. It just is an automatic thing.
Oh, yeah.
But here's the other thing, Wes. Also, if there's two ways you can get Drive Advisor. You can get Drive Advisor, just download it off the internet, install it on your computer. It's completely free. You'll get the emails. Now, if you come into our service center, basically what ends up happening is Drive Advisor detects that it's being run from one of our IP addresses inside of our service centers. And so it pops up an extra box asking us to put in the tag, the Schrock tag for your computer, which is the little sticker on the back of your computer that if we've ever worked on your computer, that's how we identify you in our system, so we know what we've done to your computer over years and years. So we put that tag number in, and once those two are associated together, when you have an issue with your drive, not only will you get an email, you'll get a phone call from us as well letting you know, just in case you missed the email. After you've installed Drive Advisor, if you ever have it into the shop for any reason at all, it gets on our network, it's going to pop that box up, and then we're going to put in that number. And then it's going to be associated going forward. Because, we didn't want to create a situation where, Drive Advisor is free. There is not a revenue model behind it. It's not there's no ads. It's nothing like that. And so if we would have started calling everybody in the United States that installed it and had a bad drive, that might have gotten to be a little, spammy, lead gen-y kind of, it might have been bad. We don't want to do that. So, but customers who are our customers, who are established to be our customers for something besides Drive Advisor, now it's a customer service issue. If Wes's computer has a bad hard drive and it's at 99%, we're going to pick up the phone and tell Wes, your hard drive is at 99%, Wes. We recommend you get it replaced. Sometimes customers say, no, I'm fine. I'll just let it go, let it die. And then Drive Advisor will send you a subsequent notification. It doesn't bug you, but it'll send you a new notification if your drive health drops further. So if you go from 99 to 98, that'll trigger a new email. And then if it stays at 98 forever, you're never going to see another email from Drive Advisor.
Okay. And does that work on solid state drives too, or just
it does?
One?
Yes, the solid state drives they degrade differently. So basically, a solid state drive can work perfectly, but still have a lower health rating because it's based on the number of times the sectors on the drive have been read and written to. They're only good for so many read writes before they start to fail. And there's an algorithm, there's a linear algorithm that'll predict when they're going to fail. So sometimes it's like the law of averages. Sometimes drives will last a lot longer. Sometimes, literally, we had a drive. We put in a brand new computer this week. It was a solid state drive and a brand new ultimate upgrade we were building for somebody. And the drive was 100% when we built it. We installed Drive Advisor 100%, and we sent it over to the Omaha service center where they were doing the data transfer, and it dropped to 99% during the data transfer. And we're like, seriously? So yeah, it's just sometimes they fail early and sometimes they go a long time. But after you access those read-write sectors so many times, the odds of a failure go up. So we mathematically will calculate the odds of your hard drive failing with a solid state. Whereas with a mechanical drive, you get a health percentage degradation on a mechanical drive when there's an issue with the drive that caused it to not spin up, not power up, caused it to not to read or not to write when it was supposed to. So when it actually experiences a malfunction, that impacts the health rating. Whereas with solid state drives, it's more of a mathematical calculation when they're going to fail.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, Wes. Appreciate the call. All right. 866-496-8772. Dale, you're next up. What can I do for you on Compute This, Dale? Hello, Dale. See, it's going to be funny. How long is the delay?
Hello.
Hi, Dale. How are you?
Who's this?
This is Thor. How are you doing?
Great. I'm hearing you on the radio. You got a little delay there.
Yeah, turn your radio down a little bit. Listen on the phone.
Okay.
There we go. Now we can have a much, otherwise it's like talking back and forth from Mars,
Okay. I was just disappointed to hear that your guy transferring to Lincoln.
Oh, Drake? Is he one of your favorites in the Omaha shop?
Yeah, he was working on my computer in April.
Oh, gotcha.
I have a problem with my hard drives.
Uh-huh.
And a year before that, you guys put in a new 1T hard drive.
Yep.
And that crashed, and it was unretrievable.
Gotcha.
And he put the original hard drive in because he found there was still memory in the original. And he left notes on his worksheet, so when I brought it back, it would help him update what he did.
Gotcha.
And I was wondering how long you guys. I thought originally that new hard drive was a solid state one, but no, they said it was a regular hard drive.
Yeah, a solid state hard drive and a 1 terabyte like 1 terabyte size. Like the actual 1 terabyte drive, we would sell for $150. A 1 terabyte solid state would be closer to $400.
Oh, that's why. Okay, there's the difference.
Yeah, there is a difference in price. The price per gigabyte is greater, but the problem here is most computers come with a 1 terabyte drive. Customers don't actually use the terabyte. They use like 80 gigs. They use 80 out of 1,000. So if we give them a hard drive that has 250 in it, then they're just fine, and they get the benefits of the solid state. But
Pardon me?
Go ahead.
Yeah, he suggested that. I kept these notes, and I didn't want to take it to anybody. I'm on Social Security, so I've been saving for I can purchase. I had other things possibly wrong with my computer, and getting a new one from you with a solid state hard drive.
Gotcha.
And I was waiting for that, and I was keeping notes and not letting anybody else touch my laptop. But that way you guys have a better understanding what was going on when people were working on it.
Well, sounds good, Dale. Thank you for trusting us with that. We appreciate it. And don't worry, you're still going to be able to talk to Drake. He's not going to the other side of the universe or anything. He'll just be in Lincoln. I mean, that's like let me transfer you. Boop, 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 boop. And you could talk to Drake still, and he could help you out. All right, Tim, real quick, I've got like 20 seconds. How can I help you on Compute This? Tim?
Uh-huh.
What can I do for you today, Tim? I got 10 seconds.
I can't get Drive Advisor to work. It just has a message saying working and speak doing that.
All right, Tim, give us a call in the service center. We'll get that taken care of for you. They'll help you out for free with that one. See you again next Sunday for another edition of Compute This.
From the Millard Roofing Studios, we've got you covered. This is News Radio 1110 KFAB, Omaha, an iHeart radio station.